So, have you ever wanted to go fishing, but you don't know how to tie the right proper knot for the hook? Well, today, I'm going to show you how to do that. But there are many different types of knots that you could tie. And once you learn how to get the hang of tying them, it will be so easy for you. Growing up, I was always on the waterfront with my dad and uncle, always breaking my line because I was not good at tying knots. Yes, of course, my dad and uncle taught me some of the easy ones to tie, but I wanted to learn some of the stronger and tougher knots. So what I done is I went home and I YouTubed how to tie strong knots when I had nothing to do. And I looked up at least 1,000,000 different videos to learn how to tie multiple different knots that I didn't know how to tie. So hopefully today I can demonstrate to you guys how to tie a couple of the best ones that I know how to. There are multiple different knots that you could tie, but today I'm going to show you 3 of the easiest and best ones to tie that will have you set for life. The first one I'm going to start off with is called the clinch knot. And how you tie this knot is you get your bait and you get the line. Put the line through the eyelid. Then you spin it around 8 times. Then once you get done with that, there should be a little hole at the bottom right there. You take the line and you run it through that. Then you just clinch it down. And this is it is a strong knot, but it's not that strong. For this, you want to fish for it for like little small bass, crappie, and bluegill. It won't break as long as you got the right pound test on your pole. And this was one of the first knots I learned how to tie when I was a kid. And for the second knot I'm going to show you how to tie, it's the same concept as the clinch knot, but it's called the improved clinch knot. So how you tie that one, it's the same concept. You run it through the eye of the hook. But instead of spinning 8 times, you do it 10. Then there should be a little eye lit at the bottom again. You run it through that, but you don't clinch it right away. You take the little hole right here that you made, and you run it through that. Then you just cinch it down. And that is the improved clinch knot. And this is one of the most stronger knots out. That's the easiest to tie. And for this knot, you could catch almost anything on it. Bass, crappie, carp, catfish, all that. I once caught a 6-pound smallmouth on that exact knot. And for my last knot, which is probably the most difficult one that you will ever learn to tie, is called the Palomar knot. And this was actually the first knot I was ever taught. My uncle taught me this. And it's probably the strongest knot out. So you take about 5 inches of line, then you run it through the eye. Then you take the other end of the line and run it back through the eye, but in the opposite direction. Then you pull it down to the middle. Then you go over and under like you're going to tie a knot. Then you have this little tag right here. You bring it through that. You lick your line. Then you just tighten it up. And this is the strongest knot out there that I know of. This knot will not slip. You will break your line before the knot slips off the hook. And the reason why I say it's one of the strongest lines, I saw my uncle and dad catch over 40-pound carps on this exact same knot. And it's probably the best knot out there. It won't slip, it won't break, none of that. And them are 3 of the most simple and easiest knots once you learn how to tie. You'll be set to go fishing. I hope. Sincerely, Clayton.